You won't believe what happened to a single mom who changed everything with one incredible decision. My name is Sarah, and I was just an ordinary mom struggling to make ends meet. But one day, I stumbled upon something life-changing that not only turned my life around, but also touched the lives of many others. Today, I'm going to reveal how I went from living paycheck to paycheck to creating a movement that transformed our community in a way no one ever expected. You won't believe the dramatic twist that unfolded and how it all started with just one moment of courage. In this video, you will hear my unbelievable story. I'll share exactly how I found the courage to change my life, the moment that sparked it all, and the ripple effect it created. And stick around for the biggest revelation, the incredible impact I made on my neighbors and friends that you have to see to believe. But first, if you want to discover all the shocking twists I faced, do the following now. Like this video, subscribe to the channel because I upload insane stories every week. Share with your friends who love incredible transformations, and comment change below. Let's go. Ready? Then hold on tight, because this story is so crazy you won't believe it. Let's get started. It all began when I was at my lowest point. I was living in a small apartment in a rundown neighborhood in 2015, struggling to make ends meet as a single mom to my 2 kids. Bills piled up, and the stress was overwhelming. I felt like I was drowning. But then, everything changed one ordinary Saturday afternoon. As I was cleaning out the garage, I stumbled upon an old dusty box that had been tucked away for years. It was filled with old trinkets and forgotten memories. Digging through the box, I discovered a peculiar map hidden at the bottom. It looked ancient and had markings that seemed to indicate a location nearby. My heart raced with excitement. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but something told me this could be the change I desperately needed. With a mix of curiosity and adrenaline, I decided to follow the map. That afternoon, I took a leap of faith, driving to the marked location in the woods just outside town. The sun was setting, creating a magical ambiance as I explored the area. As I dug into the ground at the spot shown on the map, I found an old chest buried deep beneath the earth. When I opened it, I could hardly believe my eyes. Gold coins, jewelry, and relics all glittered back at me. This treasure was real. But just as I was starting to think about my future, I couldn't shake off the feeling of being watched. My heart pounded, and questions raced through my mind. Who else knew about this treasure? Did anyone see me? I quickly realized that finding this treasure might not just change my life. It could put me in danger too. What I discovered next would lead me down a path I never anticipated, with challenges that could test my courage and strength like never before. The moment I unearthed that treasure, I felt a spark of hope that I hadn't experienced in years. It wasn't just about the gold and jewels. It was the possibility of a new beginning. With my heart racing, I realized I had a unique opportunity to change not just my life, but the lives of my children too. But what came next was even bigger than I ever imagined. As I stared into the chest filled with riches, an idea began to form. Instead of keeping it all to myself, what if I shared this fortune with those who needed it the most? My neighborhood was filled with struggling families like mine. I could create a movement, a community fund to help everyone rise together. I decided to take a bold step. I reached out to my neighbors, sharing my story and showing them the treasure. The excitement was contagious. I could see the hope in their eyes as I revealed my plan to invest in our community. new schools, better parks, and support for small businesses. Together, we started something amazing. I witnessed how quickly the energy shifted. People began to come together, forming a network of support. Donations poured in, and within weeks, we had raised thousands more. I saw families coming together, pooling their resources in ways I had never imagined. The community was alive with ideas and dreams. In just a few months, our efforts transformed our neighborhood. We organized events, opened a community center, and even launched a local farmers market. The numbers were incredible. More than 200 families impacted, over $150,000 raised, and a vibrant community spirit that hadn't existed before. But while we were celebrating our success, I couldn't shake the feeling that not everyone was happy about our growth. I noticed some people watching from the sidelines, skeptical and critical. My gut told me that my rise could attract jealousy and obstacles that I hadn't anticipated. Just when I thought everything was on track, challenges started to emerge. Unexpected setbacks began to threaten our success, and I realized that this treasure had opened doors I couldn't have imagined. The stakes were higher than ever. Friends became wary, and trust was tested in ways I never expected. As I navigated this new reality, I started to wonder, was I prepared for the challenges that were coming my way? And would my community hold together as it faced these unforeseen trials? I found myself at a crossroads, unsure of what was to come, but knowing I had to be strong. The true test of our unity was just about to begin, and the moment that changed everything arrived. The day I discovered the hidden treasure that transformed my life and the lives of those around me. It was June 10th, 2015. I was standing in the woods, heart pounding, clutching that dusty map I had found in my garage. This was the moment I had been waiting for. I had marked the spot where my heart told me I needed to dig. And as I dug deeper, my hands hit something solid. As I pulled the chest from the earth, I could hardly believe what was happening. My hands trembled as I pried it open, revealing gold coins, sparkling jewelry, and relics that glinted in the fading sunlight. It was a treasure trove beyond my wildest dreams. I stopped to catch my breath, overwhelmed by emotions. In that moment, I saw a way out of my struggles. A way to change not just my life, but my children's future and the neighborhood we lived in. But the moment of joy quickly morphed into anxiety. As I looked around, shadows seemed to linger among the trees. I felt eyes on me. Who else knew about this treasure? Did I just stumble onto something dangerous? Days passed as I contemplated my next steps. The thought of keeping such wealth to myself gnawed at my conscience. I had witnessed firsthand the hardships my neighbors faced. Many were single parents like me, struggling to provide for their families. It clicked. Sharing this treasure could spark a revolution of hope in our community. It was more than just gold. It was an opportunity to build a brighter future for us all. On June 15th, 2015, I gathered my courage and called a meeting with my neighbors at the local community center. With the chest hidden safely in my garage, I shared my discovery. This treasure can be our new beginning, I declared, showing them the shimmering coins I had taken from the chest. Excitement erupted among us. We were all united by a shared hope. We made a plan. Instead of distributing the wealth evenly, I proposed we invest in better schools, parks, and local business support. I envisioned a community fund to tackle the issues that plagued us for years. Together, we could build something that would last, rather than squandering the newfound wealth. The energy was palpable. I could see the spark rekindled in everyone's eyes, In just weeks, the momentum skyrocketed. We held charity events, pooled our resources, and soon raised over $150,000 to kickstart our initiatives. The farmers market opened, the community center flourished with activities, and neighbors who had never spoken were now collaborating on projects. We transformed our neighborhood into a vibrant community full of potential and cooperation. But then, the clouds began to gather. Not everyone in the neighborhood was excited about our success. Whispers of jealousy spread, and I noticed certain individuals looking on with skeptical eyes. They were friends turned foes, people who were threatened by our momentum. My heart sank. I feared the very thing that brought us together might also tear us apart. And that's when the unexpected challenges started rolling in. On July 1st, 2015, as I returned home from a community meeting, I found my front door ajar. Panic surged in me as I rushed inside. Items from my home were tossed around, and my kids' prized belongings lay scattered across the floor. It was clear. Someone was trying to intimidate me, to silence me. The treasure I thought would save us had suddenly brought darkness into our lives. But I wasn't ready to back down. I realized that the treasure had not only given me riches, it had uncovered the strength within me and within our community. Now, I faced an impossible task: overcoming the obstacles arising from my very own success. Could we hold on to the momentum we had built, or was it all about to shatter from the pressure? The stakes grew higher, and soon I would learn just how much I was willing to fight for this dream. The true test of our community's unity was just beginning, and I couldn't help but wonder, would we be able to withstand the trials ahead? The consequences of my discovery were unfolding, and the hardest battles were yet to come. After revealing my treasure to the community, the consequences were immediate and overwhelming. In the first week alone, I received countless messages, some supportive, but others filled with hostility. Anonymous threats flooded my phone. Stop what you're doing, or your family will pay the price. It was terrifying. My heart raced with fear for my children. I had always wanted them to feel safe, and now my desire to uplift our neighborhood had attracted danger right to our doorstep. Within days, tensions escalated further. A group of skeptics began targeting our community fund. They spread rumors that I was mismanaging the funds and stealing from our project. They rallied a small but vocal faction, and soon it turned into personal attacks. She's just a single mom who found gold. What does she know about building a community? They mocked. It broke my heart to see such betrayal from some of our own neighbors. Local news outlets began to echo these sentiments. They sensationalized the story, twisting my intentions, leading to widespread public scrutiny. Ex-single mom treasure hunter or a flawed leader? Screamed the headlines. I was branded as a fraud, rather than the catalyst for positive change. The pressure mounted as the backlash grew. Within 2 weeks, the police were called to our neighborhood over escalating threats. A few days later, I overheard my kids talking, fear shadowing their innocent banter. "Are we going to be okay, Mom?" they asked. I had to assure them that everything was fine, but my heart knew we were in danger. Then, during a community meeting meant to unify us, a passionate dispute erupted. While I spoke about our progress and the positive changes we were making, a few neighbors stood up to challenge me. "You're using this treasure for your fame," one shouted. The meeting quickly spiraled into chaos, and I realized I had inadvertently ignited jealousy and suspicion amongst those I aimed to help. To add to the turmoil, I found a note slipped under my door that read, "You will regret uncovering the treasure." leave town or else. The warning sent chills down my spine, and I knew my life was beginning to unravel in front of my eyes. But amidst all this, an unexpected twist emerged. Just when I thought my efforts were crashing down, other members of the community stepped forward, sharing their stories of hardship and disappointment. They rallied around me, reinforcing our shared goal to persevere despite the challenges. "We will not be intimidated," one neighbor shouted, igniting a newfound resolve among the group. Our movement was far from over, but the stakes had risen dramatically. As I stared down the fear gripping our community, I realized I had to fight harder than ever to protect what we had built. While others sought to destroy, we would endure. Yet with each passing day, I wondered, would we manage to overcome the forces seeking to tear us apart? And just how far were our adversaries willing to go to silence the hope that was blooming in our neighborhood? The final confrontation was looming, and I couldn't shake the feeling that the worst was yet to come. After coming together as a community, we faced relentless challenges, each more daunting than the last. I tried to keep my spirits high, reminding everyone that we were building something incredible. Despite all the negativity surrounding us, I believed in our mission. But on August 12th, 2015, everything changed. That day started like any other. We had a community meeting scheduled to strategize responses to the rumors and threats we faced. I was determined to show my neighbors that we wouldn't be intimidated. As I walked into the community center, a sense of hope filled the room. Our shared dreams ignited once more, and for a moment, it felt like we were invincible. But this hope was about to be crushed. Just as I began to speak about our upcoming initiatives, the door burst open. A group of people I never expected, led by a former ally who had turned against me, stormed in. They shouted accusations, claiming I had embezzled funds and wasted their donations. It was a betrayal I could hardly fathom. The whispers of discontent that had been lurking in the shadows had boiled over, and they aimed to dismantle everything we had built. Feeling the heat of their accusations, my heart raced. I attempted to defend myself, explaining how every penny had gone directly to community improvements. But the crowd, swayed by the negativity, turned against me. Shouts of betrayal echoed in the room. I realized in that moment that their anger was more than just about money. It was about pride, jealousy, and fear of loss. The defining moment came when the police were called. Officers arrived to keep the peace, but I knew at that moment our dream was hanging by a thread. By the end of the day, I was left reeling. The betrayal wasn't just a loss of support. It threatened everything I had worked for. On August 13th, I drove home feeling defeated, haunted by the thoughts of what had just transpired. But then came the real shock. Weeks later, I discovered something that would change everything yet again. As our community struggled to rebound from the chaos, I learned through a trusted neighbor that the person leading the opposition had been secretly embezzling funds themselves. They had sought to divert attention from their mismanagement by accusing me. The truth hit me like a freight train. While I was honest, they were living a lie. This revelation ignited the fire inside me. I realized that rather than succumb to despair, I had an opportunity to expose the betrayal and reclaim our narrative. We could rise together again, not only to heal our community, but also to show that we would not be broken by those who sought to tear us apart. And so, on September 5th, 2015, we held an open forum to confront the accusations and reveal the truth. I brought with me documents, testimonies, and evidence of the wrongdoings. When I stood before my neighbors, I shared everything. We can choose to tear each other down or lift each other up. The energy in the room shifted once more as a collective resolve formed. In that moment, I realized that the hidden treasure was not merely the gold I had unearthed. It was the power of our community, built on trust and unity. The betrayal had brought us to a defining fall. But from that fall, we had the chance to rise stronger than ever. As I reflect on all that has happened, I know our journey doesn't end here. Challenges will continue to come, but so will opportunities for growth and resilience. And while I can't predict what the future holds, one thing is certain. Together, we will change lives. And this time, our community will be unshakable. And that is how my discovery of hidden treasure transformed my life and the lives of those in my community. By choosing to share the wealth instead of keeping it for myself, I created a movement that brought hope and support to families struggling just like mine. Despite facing betrayal and hostility, our determination to uplift one another solidified our community bond, ultimately showing that together we could overcome any challenge. Today, in 2025, our neighborhood thrives. We've built new schools, revitalized parks, and encouraged local businesses to flourish. The thought of the treasure is no longer about gold. It's a symbol of unity and resilience. Our community continues to grow stronger, inspiring others in nearby towns to create similar initiatives. This journey taught me that sharing your fortune can lead to unexpected challenges, yet the reward of lifting others far outweighs the struggles. It's a testament to the strength found in unity and the importance of fighting for what's right, even when faced with adversity. And if this story resonated with you, like this video, as it helps the channel greatly. Subscribe and hit the bell, because I share incredible stories like this every week. Share this with anyone who could use some inspiration. And comment below, what would you do if you found hidden treasure? Thank you for your support. Stay tuned for our next video, where we'll dive into another unbelievable transformation story that will leave you inspired